Big Battles Part 3 Alliance Preußen vs. Alliance Big. Base attack meets fierce resistance. 4 hours after the Alliance Big attacked and we lost a base in the southwest to Big, a good hour after capturing a base from Big in the northwest, we are now attacking a base in the north. This is within reach of the opponent and could be defended. However, Big has so many troops in the southwest that we assume we will meet less resistance in the north. Even if they move their troops up, it will cost them an enormous amount of fuel. In the worst case, we would break off and attack again below. We then simply play ping-pong with Big. As expected, the beginning of the battle is quiet. Even if they reacted immediately, their units simply need some time to move there. This gives me an opportunity to briefly set something straight. Our members on this map came from the Alliance Neusland. They had almost completely conquered the map and were then taken by Big here. Only our player Enrico came from Big. I had mixed that up. Thanks to all the hints. Our target today is a base of Dillingham, the biggest player of Big. If we manage to take this base from him, we will also manage to take every other base. Weakening their biggest player on this map also has a great symbolic meaning. In addition, we expect to be undisturbed on the Northern Highway to bring supplies over it if necessary. The first defense towers have already been fallen when the opponent's helicopters arrive. We are better prepared this time because attacking a potentially defended base requires additional defensive units on our side. From 2 directions, our FP6 fire at these disruptors, which then leave as fast as they came. With that said, it's clear that the enemy is online and certainly doesn't want to just watch us taking their bases. Then IL-2 planes from Burneyman arrive. Our Skinks and FP6 take care of that right away. The planes try to destroy our FP6 air defenses. Then the helicopters come back, trusting that the planes were successful. They now try to attack our cars, but are shot down by the defense towers of a nearby base. Naturally, flying units arrive first. We must assume that this was only the vanguard and that more jamming attacks will follow. At the same time, Big is attacking one of our bases in the east. There's nothing we can do about this at the moment, and we will not be distracted by it. Big has realized that the Northern Highway is important for us and tries to block it with more IL-2 planes. An already emptied Horton bomber is standing there to be prepared. Again, planes from Giant and Burneyman arrive. The latter alone now sends 6 groups simultaneously. Unfortunately, this does not miss its effect. We can't finish them off that fast, and of course, we can't carelessly pull the air defenses off the cards. The group limit of our players on this map is still very low. Inevitably, we are not prepared for all eventualities. We had counted on planes and helicopters, but there came more than expected. The attack almost comes to a standstill. Finally, the IL-2 of Burneyman find our cars, but lose against the helicopter carpet there. In the ongoing battle, non-stop repositioning also ties up attention. As a result, our players sometimes react later than desired. More groups of planes are constantly coming in, demanding our attention. This opponent knows that even unsuccessful jamming attacks will hinder us because it distracts us from the actual target. No sooner do we resume the actual attack on the base than IL-2 aircrafts from Bernieman arrive again. He seems to be getting them across the highway at the rate he is losing them on us. You can see on the minimap how our units are destroyed on the northern highway. From now on, our opponent uses this highway for his supplies. And still we have too little air defense. They simply can't be everywhere at once. So the planes can cause more damage than we would like. A single replenished skink doesn't help because the planes simply destroy it. The first group to come across the northern highway are M16s. And then Willys from Bernieman. At the same time, Gugelhupf sends IL-2s. The Willys are constantly on the move and therefore require our full attention. Although the attacking groups are eliminated soon, the attack on the base is torn off again. If Dillingham were online now, he could use gold to quickly replace the defense towers. Fortunately, this does not happen. Bernieman comes again with two groups of Willys and wants to get to the carts. This disruptive attack is also quickly repulsed. But the remaining groups of Bredas would not be enough and the access over the northern highway is blocked by the enemy. Giant and Stravel sent more groups of Willys to defend the base. Shortly after, they tried to attack our carts again. There was no more room in the group limit for enough Mauls or T-34C. Now this takes revenge. In the end, our Willys can take out the enemy Willys. By the way, this is a nice example of how free-to-play players can support battles. My group of Willys is very useful now. Many such small players together make it possible to respond to multiple demands well at the same time, while our attackers have just 4 players online. And my home base is located perfectly for this attack. I'm producing non-stop there. But of course, this is nothing compared to the speed with which Bernieman brings more units across the northern highway. Still, our attack is interrupted and it seems that time is running out, being an advantage for our opponent, who is bringing in more and more supplies. The attempt to intercept their incoming troops already on the way to us fails because the enemy simply has clear superior numbers. Even if such small disruptive attempts as Gaian's here with his helicopters are unsuccessful, they always tie up our attention. The actual base attack has been interrupted for 10 minutes now, and at times Big seems to be the more active part. Here Bernieman undertakes another attack on our carts. Furthermore, we can successfully repel all disruptive attacks. But we don't get closer to the actual goal, the capture of the Dillingham base. As soon as all opponent Willys are destroyed, new groups of Willys appear out of nowhere. Their supply via the highway does not seem to stop. No sooner than these two groups of Bernieman Willys are destroyed, Stravel arrives with M16. Then Carlino sends more helicopters. At least the direct fight of our Willies in front of the enemy base lets our Karls fire again. So now we make slow progress in the base attack, even if Willies are actually too bad to end up as cannon fodder in front of the base. When the M16s of Stravel are destroyed, Burneman comes again with Willies. There is simply no end to it. The enemy has probably also realized by now that we have always seen what he brings across the highway and could receive the jamming troops so well. A DTAC on the northern highway tries to change that. Unfortunately, our Horton there has to pull out. But our opponent also seems to be reaching his limits. Should Burneman already have reached the end of his supply after 17 lost groups of Willies? That leaves us enough air to send Braders in front of the base again. The base still has 6 defense towers. In case of need, we would use FP6 and T-26 as cannon fodder. Fortunately, however, more Braders arrive in time. Our base, which was attacked at the same time in the east, remained intact. Those were probably just mock attacks to distract us. It's a good thing we didn't get distracted. The few lost defense towers there are quickly replaced. After this battle, Big captured a few more bases from us in the lower left of the map. Occasionally players complain in comments that I never show such a success of our opponents in the video. Unfortunately, I can only show what I record. When I'm asleep, I can't continue to document what's happening. The point is not to hide these attacks of Big. But today we end the first evening with the great feeling of having taken a fully built base from the biggest player of our opponent, while at least 4 of his teammates were online and lost many groups defending the base. Therefore, it doesn't matter at all what else we will lose to Big during the night. We proved that we can do it. Next, we need to prove that we can take enemy bases faster than Big can take our bases. That will be then the tenor of the next videos.